Yandy Smith just broke the internet with a live session no one saw coming. Screaming, crying, and pointing fingers, she accused Erica Mena of the ultimate betrayal, sleeping with her man Mendeecees. The moment her voice cracked and she shouted, "Erica slept with my man," fans were frozen. Within seconds, thousands flooded the comments. Hearts dropped, jaws hit the floor. And then Mendeecees, who was sitting silently beside her, stood up and walked away. Nidlev, the screen glitched. Yandy screamed louder, and the entire internet went into a frenzy. Was she telling the truth? Was this just another love and hip-hop stunt? Or had one of the most talked about relationships on reality TV finally exploded in front of millions? The situation only spiraled from there. Insiders claim the live wasn't planned. It wasn't scripted. It wasn't fake. It was rage, betrayal, and heartbreak, all unfolding in real time. Yandy didn't hold back, naming names, dragging receipts, and swearing she'd never forgive either of them. Fans are shocked, confused, and divided. Some say Yandy's finally speaking her truth. Others believe she's having a breakdown. But one thing's for sure, this is the messiest love and hip-hop drama yet. And it's only just beginning. Nobody expected Yandy to go live that night. It wasn't scheduled. There were no teasers, no stories hinting at a breakdown. Nothing. Just a sudden ping. And there she was. Face bare, eyes puffy, voice trembling. Fans immediately sensed something was off. It wasn't her usual polished self. No filters, no glam, just raw emotion radiating through the screen. And then she dropped the bomb. She looked directly into the camera, took a shaky breath, and said the words that would send shock waves through the internet. "Erica slept with my man." The live chat exploded. Hearts started pouring in. Emojis flooded the screen, but no one knew what to type. Was she serious? Was she really saying Erica? Mena, the Erica who had just appeared on a few episodes with her, had crossed that line. Yandy didn't wait for reactions. She kept going. Her voice rose, shaking with anger, hurt, and disbelief. She said it started with a vibe she couldn't explain. There were looks exchanged, jokes made that didn't sit right with her. She said she brushed it off, not wanting to come off as insecure. "I'm not the jealous type," she insisted, wiping her nose. "But something in my gut told me this ain't right." Fans started screen recording, tagging gossip blogs, and sharing the live within minutes. The video was already going viral before she even mentioned Mendeecees. He was there right next to her, not saying a word, arms crossed, looking down, his face stone cold. Yandy glanced at him, then back at the camera. "You gonna sit there and act like it ain't true?" she asked. He didn't respond. She shook her head, letting out a painful laugh. He said it was a mistake. One night, just one damn night. But that night ruined everything. Fans watching were in complete shock. No one had seen this coming. Not from them. Not like this. Then came the part that had people gasping. Yandy claimed she found out after checking his messages. She said she saw deleted texts that had been backed up to this cloud. And there, in between old photos and files, were flirty messages from Erica. She said, "You taste better than I remember. What the hell am I supposed to do with that?" Yandy screamed. Her voice cracked as she slapped her hand against the couch. Mendeecees finally shifted in his seat, but still didn't speak. The silence from him was almost louder than Yandy's accusations. People in the comments were demanding he say something. Others were begging her to lob off, but Yandy was far from done. She explained how things had been weird ever since that group trip the one had filmed but never aired. Apparently, the producer scrapped the footage after too much chaos broke out. Yandy claimed that was the trip where everything changed. She was being real touchy with him. Yandy recalled, "I thought she was just being friendly, but now I know." She said she remembered one night in particular when she went to bed early with a headache. Mendeecees had stayed behind with the rest of the cast, and that's when it happened, she whispered. Fans were frozen. The idea that Erica and Mendeecees had done something behind her back while filming a reality show was already scandalous, but the way she told it made it feel all too real. Mendeecees finally spoke. "Barely. I told you already. I don't even remember half of that night," he muttered, still not facing the camera. Yandy turned sharply toward him. "How convenient," she snapped. "You don't remember, but she does. She remembers everything. Even the position y'all were in." Mendeecees rubbed his forehead, clearly uncomfortable. The comments went wild again. Fans started tagging Erica demanding a response. Yandy through tears said she felt humiliated. "I defended you. I defended both of y'all. People been telling me for months and I said, nah, not Erica. She's not like that. She's married. She got her own mess to deal with. But guess what? I was wrong." Suddenly, Yandy held up her phone trying to pull up screenshots. She fumbled, swiped, then dropped it on the floor. She screamed in frustration. Men's got up slightly as if to help, but she shoved his hand away. "Don't touch me," she said through gritted teeth, and then it happened. The moment that sealed the internet's obsession with this meltdown. Mendeecees stood up, looked at her, then at the camera, and without saying a single word walked off screen. The door closed behind him with a soft but final thud. Yandy sat there stunned, her mouth slightly open, her hands shaking. "Wow," she whispered. "So that's it? You just got to walk away like you didn't do nothing." The live chat went insane. Thousands of viewers were now watching, some begging her to end the live, others urging her to keep going. And she did. Yandy leaned back, took a deep breath and said, "I gave this man everything. I stood by him when he was locked up. I raised his kids. I fought for our family, and this is how he repays me." With Erica Mena, her voice cracked again. Somebody who ain't even stable in her own life. She covered her face for a moment, then looked back up, her expression harder now. "Nah, you'll deserve to know who these people really are." Just then her phone buzzed. A text. She glanced at it and her whole demeanor changed. "Oh, now she want to text me?" Yandy hissed. "Too late for that. The world's going to hear it now." She reached down and grabbed her phone again, this time determined. She said she was sorry. She said she didn't mean for it to happen. "Girl, you don't trip and fall into somebody else's man. You made a choice." Fans were eating up every second of it. It was messy, raw, and full of scandal. The kind of drama that spreads like wildfire across blogs, Reddit threads, and every shave room comment section. And yet, it felt like Yandy wasn't even thinking about all that anymore. She was just venting, finally letting out everything she had held in for too long. Her voice lowered. "I let you in my house, Erica. You played with my kids. You smiled in my face. And all the while, you were plotting behind my back." She shook her head, wiping her tears. "I should have known. I should have known the minute she started calling him bro all the time. Like, we don't know what that fake sister act really means." Her pain was now turning into anger and fans were glued to every second. She said she didn't want to believe it. That for weeks she kept making excuses, blaming herself, thinking maybe she wasn't affectionate enough. Maybe she was too focused on business. But now she knew the truth and it was eating her alive. As she continued speaking, the sound of a car starting could be heard faintly in the background. Mendeecees was leaving. Not just the room but the house. Yandy paused for a moment, listening, then laughed bitterly. "He running now? Just like always, can't face the truth." She sat in silence for a few seconds before saying, "I'm not doing this for sympathy. I'm doing this because I'm tired of protecting people who wouldn't spit on me if I was on fire." And just like that, the lift continued to spiral deeper into one of the messiest public blow-ups reality TV fans had ever seen. But as shocking as part one of her live was, it was only the beginning. The real chaos was yet to come because just when viewers thought they had heard it all, Yandy dropped another unexpected bomb. One that changed the entire direction of the scandal. Yandy sat there staring into the camera, her face frozen in disbelief. The comments were still flooding in, a chaotic mix of support, shock, and flat-out confusion. But she wasn't reading them anymore. She was somewhere else now in her own thoughts, spiraling deeper into a storm of betrayal. And then, just as the silence began to stretch too long, she whispered something that left everyone speechless. This wasn't the first time the entire energy of the lift shifted. Viewers sat up straighter, jaws dropped, and phones across the country started recording again. She leaned forward, elbows on her knees, and said it louder this time. "This wasn't the first time Mendeecees stepped out on me. It wasn't even the second. I've been covering for him for years." Fans were stunned. The couple had always portrayed a united front, even through prison time, custody battles, and all the mess that reality threw at them. But Yandy was now peeling back layers that no one knew existed. She said there were other women, faceless names she had ignored for the sake of family, for the sake of keeping their image intact. I thought if I just kept quiet, if I loved him enough, he'd stop. But it just got worse. And now he's messing with women I actually know. People I let into my home. She stood up, pacing now. Her hands were animated, her voice louder, filled with rage. Erica ain't just some random chick. She was my friend. At least I thought she was. She used to call me crying about Safari, about her divorce, about everything. And I listened. I comforted her. And while I was doing that, she was out here planning how to stab me in the back. She paused, breathing hard. Nah, you don't come back from that. Suddenly a notification popped up on the screen. It was from Erica. She had gone live to fans, went into full frenzy mode. Now it was war. Yandy saw it and scoffed. Oh, now she got something to say. Let me guess, she's going to play victim. Talk about how she didn't mean for it to happen. How it was a vulnerable moment. Please. But despite her tough words, it was clear the pain was getting to her. Her voice cracked again as she added, I thought we were sisters. What made everything worse was the fact that this wasn't just affecting her, it was affecting the kids. Yandy said her oldest had overheard an argument between her and Mendeecees the night before, and asked if they were getting a divorce. How do you explain this to your children? She asked the camera. How do you tell them that the man you taught them to admire, to look up to, can't even respect the woman who held him down through everything? Her voice broke into sobs for a moment, but she quickly wiped her face, trying to regain composure. She said that people in their inner circle had been warning her for months, that one of her friends had even tried to tell her about a party where Erica and Mendeecees were getting too close, but she didn't want to believe it. I cut people off for bringing me the truth, she admitted. I thought they were being messy. Turns out they were trying to save me. The chat filled with fans offering support, saying things like, you deserve better, and you're stronger than this. But Yandy barely looked at the screen anymore. She was too far gone, too deep in her heartbreak to notice anything outside her own pain. And then another twist. She picked up her phone again and played a voice memo. The audio wasn't super clear, but you could make out a woman's voice. Erica's voice, laughing, saying something about what happens in Miami stays in Miami. Yandy looked at the camera and said, you hear that? That's her talking about the same weekend they claimed nothing happened, but she didn't know he saved that voicemail. She sent it to him as a joke and he forgot to delete it. Fans were floored. This wasn't just drama anymore. It was turning into full-blown evidence collection. People in the comments started calling it cheater court and begging Yandy to drop more receipts. She wasn't done. Not even close. She revealed that after confronting Mendeecees, he'd admitted to more than just the Erica situation. He said there were others. He didn't say names, but I could tell by the look in his eyes that it's been more than I ever imagined. She paused, then added, how do you sleep next to someone for years and not know who they really are? The live had now been going for nearly 30 minutes, but no one was clicking off. This was no longer just gossip. It was emotional carnage, unfolding in real time. She sat back down, exhausted now, her voice softer, but still full of disbelief. I fought for him. I fought judges, lawyers, bloggers, trolls, all to protect a man who wouldn't even protect me from betrayal. And he let Erica, the same woman who has disrespected every man she's been with, get that close to him. I can't. She shook her head again, eyes glassy. I can't do this anymore. The live chat was now asking where Mendeecees had gone. Some speculated he had driven to Aratha's place. Others said he was probably hiding out with his boys, trying to figure out how to spin the narrative. Yandy saw the comments and responded, he's gone. Just like that. Not a word, not a sorry, nothing. Her voice turned icy. And Erica, girl, don't think this is over. Don't think you're going to play the I'm broken card again, because this time I got the truth on my side. But just as Yandy was about to end the live, her phone buzzed again. She looked down and her whole face changed. Her eyes widened. Her mouth parted slightly. Oh no. No, she didn't, she whispered. Then she turned the screen toward the camera and showed a dim from Erica. It read, I told you to keep your man in check. Not my fault, he wanted something real. The live exploded. People couldn't believe it. The audacity, the disrespect. It was pure chaos. Now, Yandy read aloud, her voice trembling. You think this is a joke? She shouted. You think this is funny? Messing with my family. She threw the phone across the room barely missing a lamp. The crash made her flinch, but she didn't care. "You're sick," she said, her voice low and dangerous. "You're actually sick. And trust me, this ain't over. You want the spotlight? You got it." She stood up again, pacing once more. The energy in the room was electric with fury and heartbreak. People were live tweeting every word, screen recording every tear and dissecting every pause. This was now the biggest scandal in love and hip-hop history, and it was happening in real time with receipts, rage, and raw emotion. Yandy finally took a deep breath, looked directly into the lens and said, "I need y'all to understand something. This ain't about clout. This ain't about views. This is about respect. And I lost all of mine trying to protect a man who ain't never been loyal to me." Her voice dropped to a whisper again. But not anymore. Just then, the sound of keys jingling was heard at the front door. Yandy froze, her face tensed up, lips pressed tightly together. She slowly turned her head toward the sound and with a quiet but firm voice said, "If that's him, he better be ready to explain everything because now the whole world is watching." The camera remained on her, the tension thick enough to cut with a knife. And just like that, the screen went black for a moment. Fans waited. The comments stalled and then the Lev resumed just in time for the next bombshell moment that no one was ready for. The camera adjusted slightly, showing Yandy walking toward the front door. Her posture tensed, shoulders squared like she was preparing for battle. The keys jingled again and then the knob turned slowly. When the door opened, it was Mendeecees. He stepped inside like he already knew what storm was waiting for him. His eyes immediately locked on the camera still streaming live. For a brief second, there was hesitation in his step, like he was debating whether to run or face what was coming. But Yandy wasn't about to give him a choice. "You really got the nerve to walk in here right now?" she asked, her voice sharp like glass. Mendeecees tried to speak, raising one hand in a calming gesture, but she cut him off. "Don't say a word. Not one word. The whole internet knows what you did. And if you think you're going to walk in here and act like it's business as usual, you've lost your damn mind." He looked tired, drained, like a man who had been carrying a lie too long and finally felt its weight breaking him. "Yandy," he started, "please, we need to talk. Not like this. Not with everybody watching." But Yandy just laughed bitter and loud. "Oh, now you care about who's watching. You should have thought about that before you disrespected me in front of the whole damn world." He tried to move toward her, but she stepped back, pointing at the camera. "Nah, you going to talk right here. Let the people hear what you got to say. Let them see the man behind the smile, behind the interviews, behind the fake love." Mendeecees looked at the camera, then back at her. He rubbed his face and finally nodded. "All right," he said. "You want the truth? Fine." He took a breath. "Yes, I messed up. I messed up bad, but it wasn't what you think. Erica, she came on to me. She knew we were having problems. She took advantage of that." Yandy rolled her eyes, arms crossed tight. "Don't play the victim. You're a grown man. You could have walked away." Mens nodded slowly. "You're right. I could have. I didn't because I was weak and selfish and I didn't think about the consequences. I felt like you weren't there for me anymore." Yandy's mouth fell open. "Excuse me." Her voice cracked with disbelief. "I wasn't there for you. I gave up everything for you. My peace, my name, my time. And you think you can blame this on me?" Mendeecees didn't respond. The silence was deafening. Yandy shook her head and stepped back again. "You know what hurts the most? It's not even the cheating. It's the betrayal. The fact that you let someone I trusted into your space, our space. And you let her laugh at me, mock me while I was out here defending you to the world." Mendeecees looked down, his voice barely above a whisper. "I know, and I hate myself for it." He looked back up. "I never wanted to hurt you. I thought it was a mistake I could bury, that it would never come out. But now that it has, I know I don't deserve your forgiveness." Yandy's eyes filled again, but this time with something deeper than sadness. Resentment. "You're damn right you don't." She turned back to the camera. "You all hear this? This man right here just admitted to throwing away our marriage for a few moments of attention. And the worst part, he still don't get why it hurts." Mendeecees stepped forward again, this time more desperate. "I get it. I swear I do. I know you don't believe me, but I do. I know I broke you. I broke us. He reached for her hand, but she pulled away. Me. The air was heavy with emotion. Even the people watching live were struggling to keep up. Comet after comet flew across the screen. Some begging Yandy to leave him, others pleading with her to try and fix things. But Yandy was already making her choice. "I want you out," she said suddenly. Men's blinked. "What?" Yandy repeated louder now. "I want you out. Take your stuff. Go wherever you need to go. But you're not staying here. Not tonight. Not tomorrow. Not anymore." Mendeecees stood frozen like his body had just shut down. He didn't argue. He didn't beg. He just nodded slowly. "If that's what you want," he said quietly, "I'll go." He walked toward the bedroom to grab his things, and Yandy collapsed onto the couch, breathing hard. The camera stayed on her, watching every twitch of her fingers, every flicker in her eyes. And then something happened that nobody expected. Her phone rang. She looked down. It was Erica again. This time it was a video call. For a moment she just stared at the screen, her jaw clenched. Then, against her better judgment, she answered. Erica's face filled the screen, smug, composed, as if she hadn't just detonated a bomb inside someone's life. "You look tired," she said with a smirk. Yandy's eyes narrowed. "You really want to do this right now?" Erica leaned closer to the camera. "You started this when you put my name out there, so don't get mad when I clap back." Yandy laughed bitterly. "Clap back? You think this is a game? You wrecked the family." Erica shrugged. "If your man was really happy at home, nothing I said or did would have mattered. Blame him, not me." Yandy gritted her teeth. "Oh, trust me. I blame both of y'all. But Hugh, you knew exactly what you were doing and you're going to pay for it." Erica rolled her eyes. "Please. You think you're the first woman to get cheated on? Grow up." The call ended abruptly as Yandy hummed up, her hands shaking. She turned back to the camera. "This woman really thinks she's untouchable, but I promise you she's not." In the background, Mendeecees reappeared holding a small duffel bag. His eyes were red, but he didn't cry. He stood by the door, silent, waiting. Yandy didn't look at him as she said, "Don't come back without a damn miracle." Mendes opened the door, paused, then left without another word. The door clipped shut behind him, and with it something inside Yandy also closed. She sat in silence for a moment, the weight of everything crashing down. Then she spoke again, her voice flat but firm. "I'm done protecting people who wouldn't cross the street to protect me." She ended the live, but the internet wasn't done. Clips were already circulating. Memes, reactions, breakdown videos, it all exploded within minutes. Team Yandy, Team Mendes, Team Erica. It was everywhere. But behind all the noise, all the opinions, was a woman sitting alone, staring at the walls of the house that suddenly felt unfamiliar. She thought back to the beginning, to the love letters from prison, to the family photos, the promises, the public loyalty. How did it all turn into this? How did something so solid rot from the inside? Her phone buzzed again. Not from Erica, not from Mendeecees, but from her lawyer. She stared at the screen, then picked it up and simply said, "Let's talk options." And just like that, the next chapter in this unraveling story had begun. One that no one was prepared for, not even Yandy herself. The next morning came slowly, like time itself was dragging its feet through the mess that had unfolded the night before. Sunlight poured through the half-closed blinds, landing on the same couch where Yandy had cried herself to sleep. The silence in the house was thick, broken only by the occasional ping of notifications from her phone. Every media outlet had picked up the story. Every gossip page was reposting the live. And every person with an opinion was typing it in the comments. But Yandy, she wasn't reading any of it. Not yet. She moved like a ghost through the house, brushing her teeth, washing her face, making coffee, all on autopilot. The only thing she had energy for was survival. Then her phone rang again. This time it wasn't Erica. It wasn't her lawyer. It was Mama D. Yandy hesitated, staring at the caller ID, then answered with a tired hello. Mama D's voice came through loud and sharp, just like always. "Baby, what in the hell is going on? I woke up and you all over my damn timeline." Yandy let out a weak laugh. "Yeah, that seems to be the theme today." Mama D didn't waste time. "Listen, I know things get crazy in this business, but I always knew Mendeecees was trouble. I told you that man was slick. Didn't I tell you?" Yandy sighed. Now your eyes wide open. The question is, what you going to do next? Yandy didn't have an answer. Or maybe she did, but she wasn't ready to say it out loud. Instead, she changed the subject. Have you talked to Scrappy lately? Mama D clicked her tongue. He's been quiet, watching all this unfold like the rest of us. He said he was going to call you, but I told him to wait, give you space. Yandy nodded slowly. Thanks. I appreciate that. Mama D paused again. Just know whatever you need, I got you. And if that hyper Erica thinks she's about to slide into your life and replace you, she got another thing coming. They said their goodbyes and Yandy ended the call, feeling a strange mix of comfort and exhaustion. Just then, her phone lit up again with a message from an unknown number. She clicked it open. It was a video. At first, she didn't recognize what she was looking at. It was security footage. Grainy black and white from a hotel hallway. And there he was, Mendeecees. Seconds later, Erica followed, pulling the door shut behind her. She reached for his hand. He didn't resist. Yandy's stomach turned. This wasn't just a rumor. This wasn't speculation. This was proof. Undeniable. Raw. She dropped the phone like it burned her. Her hands trembled. Everything inside her screamed. Betrayal layered on top of betrayal. Someone had leaked the footage, and they wanted her to see it. But who? And why now? Before she could even process it fully, the phone rang again. This time it was her lawyer. She took a deep breath, then answered. I saw the footage, she said before the lawyer could speak. There was a pause. Yeah, her lawyer replied. I got it too, and we need to talk because things are about to get very messy. There's already talk of Erica trying to flip this. Say it was revenge. Paint herself as the victim. But with what you have now, we have leverage. Yandy nodded slowly. What's the move? Her lawyer's voice turned firm. We filed today. Divorce proceedings, restraining orders if necessary, and a full media statement to control the narrative before they do. Are you ready for that? Yandy closed her eyes. As ready as I'll ever be. She hung up, then looked back at the phone. Her reflection stared back at her in the screen. Eyes puffy, lips chapped, soul tired. But there was something else there too now. Fire. Not the kind that burned out of control. The kind that forges steel. She got up and walked to her closet, pulled out a sharp black blazer, did her hair and put on makeup, not for vanity but for armor. She called a press contact and set up an exclusive interview. She wasn't about to let anyone else tell her story. Not Erica, not Mendeecees, not the blogs, her. It was time. Meanwhile, across town, Mendeecees sat in a hotel room staring at the same footage. His phone was blowing up. Calls from his manager, his publicist, even his mom. He looked broken, defeated. For the first time in years, he was losing control of the narrative, and the people who once cheered for him were now questioning everything. Erica, on the other hand, was doubling down. She posted a cryptic Instagram story. You can't steal what's already broken. Followed by a slow zoom in of a shattered mirror. The comments exploded. Some applauded her boldness. Others dragged her for filth, but Erica didn't care. She was thriving off the chaos. Yandy's interview dropped that evening. A simple setting, soft lighting, no theatrics, just her voice, raw and honest. She didn't scream, she didn't cry. She told the story exactly how it happened from her perspective without bitterness. Just truth. And that made it even more powerful. I loved him, she said. I believed in him. But love isn't enough when respect is gone. When trust is broken and when someone shows you who they are, you have to believe them. She looked straight into the camera. This isn't just about a scandal. It's about dignity, about knowing your worth and walking away even when it hurts like hell. The internet went silent. Then it erupted. Celebrities reposted it. Fans flooded her with support. #StandWithYandy started trending. Even people who had stayed neutral were now choosing sides, and the tide had officially turned. Mendeecees tried to respond. He went live fumbling through apologies, trying to explain, but the damage was done. His words felt empty. His face, once trusted, now drew side eyes. Even his castmates started distancing themselves. Producers called emergency meetings. Sponsors pulled out. Appearances were canceled. The empire he built on charm and image was crumbling in real time. Erica tried to prepare for, and he wasn't gloating. She wasn't throwing shots. She was healing. Slowly, quietly, surrounded by friends who showed up without cameras, family who reminded her of her strength, and a peace she hadn't felt in years. But the story wasn't over. Not yet, because behind all the headlines and hashtags, behind the fame and the fallout, there was one final twist no one saw coming. One that would change everything all over again. And just like that, the truth finally surfaced. But at what cost? Yandy's world has been flipped upside down. Mendeecees is facing the fallout of his own actions. And Erica's reputation is hanging by a thread. Fans are still divided. Emotions are still running high. And no one knows what's going to happen next. Is this the end of Yandy and Mendeecees for good? Will Erica finally speak her truth? Or has she already said too much? One thing's for sure, this drama isn't dying down anytime soon. The internet can't stop talking about it. Every post, every story, every reaction video is adding more fuel to the fire. And just when we think we've seen it all, another twist comes out of nowhere. But we want to know what you think. Do you believe Erica really betrayed Yandy like that? Was Mendeecees being manipulated? Or was this his true self all along? Is there any coming back from this level of betrayal? Or is the damage permanent? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. We read every single one. Don't hold back. Let us know if you're Team Yandy, Team Erica, or if you think they're both in the wrong. And if you want to stay in the loop as this story continues to unfold, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. Because if you thought this was wild, trust us, what's coming next will blow your mind even more. We've got exclusive details, behind-scenes leaks, and more shocking moments ready to drop. You don't want to miss what's next. Stay tuned, stay locked in, and as always, thank you for music watching. Heat.